You know, you hear so often about how owning a home can be your easiest avenue to financial independence as you go through your life. It certainly is a big part of the assets you'll accumulate over time. But what do you do when that house that maybe you've loved now falls into disrepair? Perhaps you can't take care of it anymore. Well, lucky for us, Lee Gates, Thomas DeMoss are back on the show this morning. They have Chattanooga Property Solutions, and I'm going to guess that there are two key words in that. Chattanooga being one,
yes,
very much local. Solutions is the other, because the solutions, Thomas, are not just for the home owner, but also sometimes people who then come to you needing to purchase from you.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'd love to tell you a story, and Lee can elaborate on this. So we've told this on some of our previous conversations, but we bought a house on Birmingham Drive. Miss Terry called us, her brother Roger was living there. The house was really in bad condition, not great for Roger to be there. So we were able to make a very easy transaction for him to move out and then to move into a better living arrangement. Upon evaluation of the house, we just decided that it did not make sense to renovate it. So we actually tore it down. First time we've ever done that. But what we were able to do, because the city now allows us to do it, we were able to build two different houses, a house on the front part of the property and a house in the back part of the property. So we took what was one house, one living accommodation for one person, and we made two, and now we have two families that are leasing those properties from us. It's kind of their first step into that world, and we're able to provide a really quality product to that.
Let's talk a little bit, Lee, about the idea of renting or leasing a house, because first of all, the inventory is low still if you're wanting to purchase.
Especially in Chattanooga.
Especially in Chattanooga. Another thing is that the prices are still fairly high, but people often want that sense of not apartment living, but they want a house. It's really not a bad way to live for a while.
I think there's pros and cons to a lot of things. And what's fascinating to me is that I get to walk with people over a bit of their journey when they're making a change. And so we walk with people who are coming out of a rental situation into home ownership. And likewise, we walk with people who are coming out of long-term, 60 years of home ownership, and they're moving into something that's more of a rental scenario because that's a better fit for them. It's a better fit for their families.
Yes.
Yeah,
it happens.
all the things.
I get tired of repairs.
Right, don't we all? So the reason I said the two key words, solutions being one, but Chattanooga being the other, is every time y'all walk through the doors to come in here, you end up saying, hey, I want to talk to you today about, and you begin to list somebody's name. You know the people that you work with.
These are our neighbors. And one of the coolest parts about the story that Thomas was telling about Roger is that another family member called us about a year later about another home. It was up past Lakeside, and a family member of his had inherited a home upon the passing of her father. And I think it's a really cool story, but the short version is because of the purchase of that, we're going to renovate that home, and it'll be a wonderful home for someone to live in. But the proceeds of that bought her first home. She lives across the country. She's actually not local. But when she encountered a situation with a home here she didn't want to hold on to, she wanted a local, and Roger was able to make a recommendation. And to have a family who trusted us on two different properties is a high honor. And we were pretty tickled about that.
So when people utilize you from a residential perspective, they're not selling, they're looking to find a place to live in. Are y'all leasing only, or do you ever turn houses that you then sell?
We do everything.
Okay.
We've built new construction to rent. We've renovated, gosh, I don't even know, hundreds of houses to sell. We try to put a good product out there. That's actually kind of one of the things that we're doing. The property up in Saudi Daisy, I was telling you about being local and reputation. Well, my son's first baseball coach's wife gave us a call because she knew of us, and just dealing with a family house, wanted it to be done. So that house is probably going to be on the market here soon.
You know, I guess because both of you have this obviously career spent in the real estate market, but it's hard to see something go to waste.
Yeah.
And that's probably what you smiled, Lee, but I guess that's what this was born from, that there's potential in
Yeah.
something and you hate to see it wasted.
I think one of the hard parts about a lot of the traditional real estate market is that they're very good at dealing with things that we see on the home improvement shows. They're very good at dealing with that after product. When something is beautiful and it looks like the front cover of Southern Home Living magazine, everyone can say, how nice is that? I'm thankful, I hope I'm humble, but I'm thankful that when we walk into a home that doesn't look that way, we see potential.
If I asked you if you'd sell some of them or if they're always a rental situation, because if you have lived in a house for decades, it's hard to think about it becoming kind of institutional. You want it to go to another family to love. Do you have those conversations with people?
That's actually a very frequent question people ask us. And
What are you gonna do with
I
the
answer
house?
them truthfully. The reality is homes are unique. And so it is very difficult to take one solution and, we don't have one paint color and one shingle type and one siding material that we apply with a bulldozer in every situation.
Right.
Every home is unique, and we try to take into account things like the neighborhood,
Right,
the part
yeah.
of town it's in, and try and be good stewards about how it could be used best in the future.
I know our conversation focused largely today on kind of the heart behind it and the people who are coming to them to say, hey, this is where I'd like to live with y'all. But if you're looking to sell, the same way they go into it with this approach of what's best for you, they'll give you a fair assessment, and they might even offer you advice that says, don't use us, do this instead. They've told me
absolutely.
that before.
Yeah,
happens a lot.
Absolutely.
Here's where you'll find them, ChattanoogaPropertySolutions.com. They are definitely your neighbors. 454-3070 is their phone number.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks a bunch.